a serene, natural heaven stretched over 600 kilometers of earth. Zanskar Valley is a world in its own. Frozen water bodies, a wide array of biodiversity, varied vegetation, and extreme climatic conditions all appear to be the face and structure of this valley. The name Zanskar has originated from the Tibetan word zang, which means copper, attributing to the large copper deposits in this region. Zanskar Valley attracts numerous tourists and trekkers every winter. The culture, the people, and the mountains give life to this crown of the north. The Zanskar Valley consists of three valleys: Zanskar, Lungnak, Sham. A remotely located area of the Zanskar, Lungnak, consists of an ancient monastery. This 12th century monument serves as the passage between us and the history of this valley. Coinciding with Zanskar, the Sham Valley offers an exceptional opportunity for trekkers, photographers, and nature enthusiasts, the reason being the 50 kilometers Sham Valley trek, an extremely popular adventure. The personality of Zanskar is reflected by its constituents, the people, a vividly flavored culture, and the ancestral impressions from the historical heritage present to the external world, a detailed portrait of Zanskar. The people here face isolation from the rest of the world. Economical hardships and limited sources of income act as catalysts. The locals manage to embrace these hardships with their hearts brimming with hope. The spiritual aura of Zanskar holds its people together and provides them with a life full of simple harmony. Buddhism is the major religion followed here. People gather in the monasteries once a year to celebrate their festivities. Lamas from these monasteries are invited to the adjoining villages for performing religious rituals.
झूले 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 सर बढ़िया झूले नमस्ते जी नमस्ते.
Jule in the Zanskari language is used to greet. You might hear a lot of jules while traveling through these mountains. Don't be astounded. The local food here consists of thukpa, momos, and meats. Chang, an alcoholic drink, is consumed to maintain body heat. Mr. Milind Raskar, entrepreneur, traveler, veteran trekker, and a wildlife enthusiast, is on a quest to explore the mighty Zanskar Valley with a team of experienced trek guides from the spiritual trek group. In this month-long journey, Milind and his team travel through numerous villages situated in the valley, observing intricacies of life there. Diverse wildlife and breathtaking landscapes make this journey a cherishable adventure. The trek to Zanskar Valley starts from Padum. There are two ways to reach Padum: chadar trek over the Zanskar River or a helicopter lift directly to Padum. The timid Zanskar River flows through the valley, knowing all its secrets. In winters, this river is covered with thick ice which can be trailed upon, hence attracting trekkers from all around the globe. This trek is usually possible in the months of January and February in extremely cold climatic conditions. Milind and his team travel over these chadars of ice, a thrilling, adventurous experience. To begin with this journey, Milind took up an air taxi from Leh, whirring through the snow-covered mountains to reach Padum, a beautiful village situated at an altitude of 3,669 meters. The plain landscape of this village provides gateway to the Lungnak Valley, a destination from where the journey begins. The mesmerizing view and the spread of land everywhere makes us feel small, a humble province at a high altitude. Pride and wisdom is in the air here. Because of the harsh terrain, transportation in this region is quite strenuous. Only a handful of villagers here have by-road connectivity. Snow-covered paths and extreme climatic conditions contribute. Villagers and lamas have to walk for miles every day, even for simple errands. The yak is a primary mode of transportation here. There exist beautiful monasteries here. The Bardhan Monastery, situated to the south of Padum, is around 400 years old. It has several paintings on its walls, one of them being the Thangaka, the Wheel of Life. The Mune Monastery is a home to many monks. Crossing the Tsarap River and a 2-hour trek from Cha leads to the Puktal Monastery. This 11th century monument was built aligned with a giant natural cave. This monastery has been a witness of the happenings in the valley for centuries and is home to around 60 lamas today. To maintain the legacy, much needed economic support is provided to this monastery by the government and some private sponsors. Every year, around 200 people gather here for festivities. The Puktal Monastery even has its own library. It is a symbol of a wise consciousness. Puktal to Marlin is a trek covering the mountains through which a tributary of the Tsarap River is visible. Several wildlife such as ibex, yaks, and snow wolves and vultures can be spotted throughout this trek. The adjoining valley is where Stanzen's village is located. The same route meets the Manali-Leh highway going forward. This route is accessible for trekkers throughout the year, except for the harsh winter months. The team progresses towards Dangze. Advancing from Marlin to Dangze, the team has to trek and cross a slippery, icy region. A river flows between these mountains and the Testa village. The level of this river is rising slowly, although it is under a thick sheet of ice this time of the year. Hence, in the initial months of the year, when the winter season is perfectly placed, this place provides wonderful trekking opportunities. A holy mountain stands tall near the Dangze village. Pupils come here to circle the entire mountain as a holy ritual, a pradakshina, which is a tough trek. Mr. Tundup attempted this trek once with his brother. It is so difficult that only a local can complete it in one day. This is considered as one of the most holy places in the valley. Several natural structures and formations are visible throughout these mountains. The locals believe highly in the spiritual value of these mountains. From a certain distance, one can clearly see Om Mani Padme formation on the cliffs. Numerous locals have reported sightings of light and sounds of prayers from the top of these mountains on full moon days. 7 little streams exist here, which are considered as offerings. A stupa nearby is where people carry out their puja rituals. They pray to their gods. Beautiful stones of different colors can be found scattered all over this area. It is a natural wonder that even marine fossils are found here. How astounding is the fact that an ocean existed in this very place millions of years ago? Dangze is the home village for a crew member, Stanzen.
This is my village, Changze. It is so remotely located that we have to travel on foot for days to reach Manali or Leh. Lack of income sources is a huge problem for us. My father is a ghodawala and I do treks both in Leh. It depends on the tourism if I get work or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I work for Mr. Tundup in the spiritual trek group. We had organized a trek in Leh where I met Mr. Milind and we got to know about the Abhal Maya Foundation. They helped us to build this house. Before this, it was a big problem for my family. I want to thank Milind sir, Tundup sir, Spiritual Trek and the Abhal Maya Foundation.
There are countless little tributaries which have their origins up here somewhere in the mountains. Crossings are built on many rivers. The team continues trekking at this difficult altitude of above 4,000 meters, hoping to get a quick sighting of a snow leopard. Mr. Stanzin once spotted a leopard in that exact spot. Water copper is found here in Thapli. Any such natural resources quickly become the source of income for the families living here. People who found water copper took it to the nearby towns, forged it, processed it, and made bowls of it to sell. It is true that nature provides. Milind and the team arrive at Testa after a long trek. The halt is arranged at Gaphil's place. The team is greeted with his family on arrival. The team comes across a stupa as they depart from Testa. They cross frozen rivers while advancing further. Beautiful little frozen waterfalls can be spotted throughout. The valley has a romantic relationship with the eyes of the trekkers who come here. They eventually leave, but Zanskar never leaves their hearts. The beautiful Tsarap river flows down from the serene Puktal Monastery and meets the famous Gyambal river at the junction point in the Purne village. The river then continues its journey to Zanskar river in Zanskar Valley as it flows through Padum and meets the magnificent Sindhu river at the famous junction point in Sangam. Traveling from Testa to Anmu, the team halts for a drinks break. Chang is an alcoholic drink which helps maintain heat in the body in such low temperatures.
ही अश्विनी नर्सरी आहे आणि इथे बऱ्याच लेडीज मेडिटेशन करतात आणि बुद्धाचा शिकवण जे आहे त्याच्याबद्दलचा अभ्यास करतात. तर आपण टुंटुबजींच्या तोंडून त्याच्याबद्दलची थोडी इतिहास हिस्ट्री ऐकूया. जुलिया टुंटुबजी.
Here exists a 70-year-old meditation center only for women. It was initially used for religious rituals and was built by a lama. Some women come here for peace and leave after they have attained it. Some stay here forever. For hundreds of years, numerous such monasteries have existed for women. This shows that the culture here has had equal space for women for hundreds of years. The blue sheep here have become so used to the villagers that they do not mind humans even at close distances.
हाँ rock climbing.
Milind and the team decide to halt at a very small village named Thobre. This village has only 2 houses situated on a tall cliffside. During the stay night, there is snowfall. This makes it easier for the team to find pug marks of the snow leopard. After all, getting to see one relies on pure luck. The team reaches Ichar. A new statue of Buddha was built here. From this location, the entire valley is visible. In the Lungnak valley, there was a king named Karotak. The ancestors of this family worked for him. As a symbol of respect, King Karotak gifted them this bow made from the horn of an ibex. This bow is used in marriage ceremonies and is a precious possession to the family. News of a snow leopard killing some cattle nearby breaks out and the team reaches there in no time. There it was, the majestic creature sitting beside its kills. Milind and his team were very fortunate to have seen a snow leopard from such a close distance. Interestingly enough, the snow leopard was sighted the very next evening by the team lurking over the hills, perhaps expecting an extra bite of its kills. The team enjoys skiing in the snow-covered slopes of Ichar. The valley dissolves all emotions in it. Progressing forward in their journey in Raru, the team was lucky enough to have another encounter with a snow leopard on a cliff far away. The distance does not feel much, even if it is. We are all one. The Zanskar and its snow leopard paint the viewer's mind vividly. The team arrives back at Padum. The Karsha Monastery of Padum is the largest monastery in the entire Zanskar region. Hosting about 100 lamas, it roots back way down in the pages of history by virtue of the old scriptures, architectures and paintings found here. It was built in the 10th century. One of the oldest temples exists here, the Avalokiteshwar temple. Sacred rituals and festivities, including the Gusta festival, take place here. Karsha is geographically the turning point of the Zanskar river, which then proceeds to meet the Indus River. The Karsha monastery is an open book to be explored. The Sani monastery is located on the northwest of Padum. Following Tibetan Buddhism, this monastery also hosts nuns. It was built by the Kushan Emperor Kanishka in the 2nd century. The famous Kanika Chorten is the witness of this history. With various annual festivities, the liveliness of the valley is fueled. Returning back to Leh, Milind and his team take with them a bag full of memories. This trek would not have been possible without the efforts of Mr. Tundup and his spiritual trek organization. The Zanskar Valley region is a diamond in the crown of this country. It definitely deserves more attention. Truly, it is a gift to mankind.